If you're living your life this way, you're doing it wrong and you're missing out. I remember when we were fighting the war in Afghanistan and we were living in those mountains and we would be going against our enemies. There were times on the battlefield when we would call in what's called CAS, C-A-S, close air support. And many times we had A-10 Warthogs. These are planes that are very good at destroying enemy targets on the ground. And we would call them in because we couldn't get to our enemy, or maybe the enemy had the upper hand somewhere, and we would call in those A-10s to fly in over top and to get the enemy in a way that we couldn't. Now, why is that important? Well, nobody in our unit looked up and said, hey, those A-10 pilots, they don't know what it's like to be an infantry guy on the ground. They don't know what it's like to be a grunt fighting these guys in this war. We're not going to call them for help. That would be pretty stupid, right? No leader in his right mind would make that decision in that kind of situation. Yet every day, and I've done it too, you or somebody you know, many people, everybody mostly I've met, does this. They go through something, they're struggling, they're afraid of something, they're dealing with an issue with somebody or a job transition, or they've been through trauma, and they don't call in air support. Now, is it true that the A-10 pilots don't know what it's like to be on the ground in Afghanistan? Yes, they don't know what it's like to be a grunt like I was, living in those mountains, all right? But the thing about it is that those A-10 pilots, as they fly above my battlefield, they have a different perspective on it, meaning they can see things on my battlefield that I cannot see, that if I knew those things, it would help me survive in the next minute or the next day longer, or survive that mission, accomplish the mission. It could be literally a life or death difference in a combat situation. Well, guess what? Your life is a war zone. And you can probably look at that statement and say, yeah, Brian, my life's a war zone. Well, it's the same thing. Why, if you're going through something and you're struggling, would you not call in air support? Meaning, why would you not call a friend? Well, some people, they don't do it for a number of reasons. One is their ego and their pride. They don't want to look like they can't handle something. Which, by the way, if you end up losing and crashing and burning, everybody then knows publicly you couldn't handle it. Other people, they just don't realize, I think they don't realize they're doing it. And it's just, they're so deep into their trauma or their struggle or whatever it is that they just don't realize they're not asking for help. And so they just don't reach out. They're just sitting there stuck in it. All right, so I want to encourage you, if you're dealing with something, if you're going through a transition, if you're struggling, you're not weak if you reach out for help. You're smart. Because only an idiot would be in a bad situation and not ask for help when he needs it. All right? So if you're in the battle, if you're in the ground, you're in the mountains of your own battle, of your own war, look on the radar. Look on your list. Look on your phone. Who are your A-10 buddies? Who are your buddies, those people you can call and talk to that can help you out and give you some different perspective on your battle so you can win it? Call in some air support.